So let me say it's about 1:02. Where's Dan Murphy? Dan Murphy, as Dan Murphy would say, he's our on-site representative from Ty and Bond, our owner's project manager. As he would say, over the past 128 weekly meetings, let's get started. So, Dan, you are the best, absolutely. So I'm Kevin Galligan. I'm a member of the Select Board of the Town of Orleans. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I was elected to be MC, so I am going to turn things over to the official welcome on behalf of the Town of Orleans, our chair, Andrea Shaw Reed.
Good afternoon on this freezing day. Thank you for joining us, and I want to welcome you for the town, on behalf of the town. This is a momentous occasion for us and marks a milestone of our commitment to clean water. The effort began more than 25 years ago with the visionaries who realized, as Alan McLennan has been quoted saying, we don't have any future without clean water. Some of our original visionaries are with us today in attendance, and some of them aren't. And I want to call up their memory and honor their service to the town. If we took the time to thank everybody individually, we would be here way past dinner. But I want to honor the tenacious persistence of those early adapters, the process that led us to the CWMP, and the forge fire of external pressure that fueled us forward. This little town of 6,000 year-round residents stared into the enormity of the task, and it changed us as we grew into the answers. The out-of-the-box, creative, problem-solving thinking was partnered at every level by local, regional, and state resources. I want to give a special shout out to two of our nonprofits, the Orleans Pond Coalition and Orleans Can, for being in that early adopters phase. Their innovation led to things like zero interest loans at the state level, watershed permitting done by groups of towns like the Pleasant Bay Alliance. And as we as a community have wrestled with the how, we found the technical, financial, political, and social partners at every level. We would not be standing here today without every single one of them. This treatment plant is at the heart of our future efforts as well around housing and economic developments. So we stand before you right now, grateful for your presence today and of all of the efforts that have allowed us to reach this moment. Thank you from a grateful community.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I am now so pleased to introduce our next speaker, who works tirelessly for the good of our communities she has represented for many years. She has been in the Massachusetts House since 2007. She knows how local government works in her service as a select board member in Provincetown. She also knows how hard Orleans has worked together to make this day happen. I am so pleased to welcome Representative Sarah Peak.
So good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody, and congratulations to the town of Orleans. What a great accomplishment. It literally takes a village, and this town has managed to do that. To my fellow elected officials who are here, former elected officials who just can't seem to fully retire from public service and service to government. I see a former town administrator there who was instrumental in the lead up to this, and so great to see you here today as well. I sent you greetings from Senator Julian Cyr. It is killing him not to be here because, you know, I have to make a few jokes. Julian really knows his shit. And if he were here, he'd give you the straight poop on how stuff has really worked on Beacon Hill. But he is the Senate chair of the Joint Committee on Mental Health this session, and they are holding a legislative hearing. So he is stuck in Boston and can't be there, but he texted me as I was on my way down here from Boston to make sure to send greetings. A few people who I would like to mention, you mentioned some of the local stakeholders, but a big part of helping with the financing of this is, yes, the state revolving fund, and the state is absolutely a partner, but also created from the room occupancy excise tax dollars, there is a percentage, as all of you know, 2.75%, that goes into our Cape and Islands Wastewater Fund. And that is available to communities. Orleans has availed itself of that. Alan McLennan was a big part in making that happen. Wendy Northcross, when she, in her capacity as CEO of the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, was part of the team that made that happen. Former State Senator Rob O'Leary, a great environmentalist and certainly somebody who knows how the inner workings of the building goes. And I'm about to cut off my remarks because it's starting to rain. But that's the advantage of having good hair like this. It just keeps curling more in the rain. So I'm okay. It's my natural God-given umbrella. But Rob O'Leary and the now president and CEO of APCC, Andrew Gottlieb, we were a mighty team working those marble hallways, talking with stakeholders, committee chairs, people on the House side, the Senate side, in the administration in order to get that landmark legislation passed, in order to help. It doesn't do maybe as much as we would like to see, but it does more than nothing, that's for sure, in order to help finance these projects, because we know here on Cape Cod that proper wastewater management is our future. It's our future whether you care about fisheries, whether you care about shellfishing, whether you care about tourism, or whether you care about the way of life and the quality of the environment that drew so many of us here and keeps those of us who grew up here wanting to live here. So this is, it's important for Orleans, but what we're doing today has regional impact. And the fact that this community has been at the forefront of it, and we can show some of those communities elsewhere on the Cape who are maybe dragging their heels a little bit, that it's not so scary, it can be done, and it has been done, and Orleans is a leader in that. So congratulations to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Next up is a woman who always brings positive energy, enthusiasm to each and every meeting we've had. She not only leads an incredible staff out of the Mass DEP Southeast region, many of you folks are here, but she is also the current president of the Association of State and Territorial Solid Waste Management Officials across the nation. This organization has led environmental stewardship since 1974. I am so pleased to welcome Millie Garcia Serrano, Southeast Region Director of Mass DEP. Millie.
Thank you, Kevin, and good afternoon, Honorable Representative Sarah Peak. It's always wonderful to see you, Town of Orleans officials and distinguished panel members and guests. First, I want to express happy Star Wars Day, right? May the 4th be with you, and Pre-Cinco de Mayo, we've got everything, Orleans knows how to do it. So I want to honestly and seriously express my sincere thanks for the opportunity to speak, as well as represent Mass DEP's Southeast Regional Wastewater Team, consisting of Gerard Martin, Drew Osei, and Ian Jarvis. Together, we proudly serve under the Healy Driscoll administration, EEA Secretary Rebecca Tepper, and our wonderful new Mass DEP Commissioner Bonnie Heipel, who regrets not being able to be here today, but for sure sends her congratulatory remarks for this monumental accomplishment that we're celebrating today. And it is an honor to be here today in scenic Orleans, home to breathtaking Nauset Beach with its glistening blue waters, to celebrate the completion of the Phase 1 downtown sewer collection system and the construction of the wastewater treatment facility. In thinking about today's event, I couldn't help but reflect on how far Orleans has come and how much further we know that Orleans will be going in the future. For unlike other comparable towns, Orleans has demonstrated once again that they fully deliver on their commitments to its citizens and the love for a safe and clean environment. Today's ribbon cutting is a shining example of doing what they say and doing it right. While the planning and groundwork for this project predates 2010, and someone corrected me, it's been actually 30 years since we've been talking about this. It really, I'm using that as a time marker, it could be said that on or around that time, Orleans started to formally lay the groundwork and build upon the momentum with a focus on nitrogen removal through effective wastewater management ideas that also aim to provide clean, safe drinking water. And not only did Orleans commit to being part of the Fab Four, Brewster, Chatham, Harwich, and Orleans, the towns that applied for a first of its kind ever issued, signed by Brian Dudley, Mass DEP watershed permit for the Pleasant Bay, yes, for the Pleasant Bay watershed in 2016. Orleans also engaged its community through forums such as the Orleans Water Quality Advisory Panel, where a dedicated group of select board, individuals, citizens, volunteers, town boards, commission representatives, neighboring towns, regional, state, federal partners all came to the table to consistently talk about and deliver on best water quality management solutions for Orleans. This dedicated group participated in 12 meetings, and I'm told they would span from 4 to 8 hours, depending on the day. And they were all open to the public. They knew all about public involvement participation way back before the federal or the state agencies were saying it's important to have public participation, right? And these meetings were, to a T, public engagement were there. That was the rule. That was the rule at those meetings. And out of this organic effort, several nitrogen management and reduction options were shortlisted to form the foundation for Orleans' comprehensive wastewater management plan update, where the traditional wastewater treatment facility meets the non-traditional. So that was balanced with approaches like aquaculture projects in Lonnie Pond or a town-installed permeable reactive barrier. And eventually, this plan would receive Cape Cod Commission's affirmative consistency determination, something that Mass DEP truly applauds. But Orleans didn't stop there. The town maintained a steady course as they submitted applications for hydrogeological evaluations in 2017 and later would submit a very well-positioned application for a groundwater discharge permit in the summer of 2019. Maintaining good relationships with federal, state, and local partners has always been Orleans' priority, and as such, the town courageously continued its design, permitting the build-out efforts for its facility. Nonetheless, during COVID-19, if you can imagine that, global pandemic that could have taken it all away, but Orleans stood up. You guys just worked right through it, all while upholding the safety of all the workers. A paramount priority became a reality. And today, Mass DEP celebrates everyone, absolutely everyone who had a hand in making the state-of-the-art infrastructure asset a reality for this beautiful town. From securing the necessary funding to planning, designing, permitting, and constructing, Mass DEP could not be happier for the way that Orleans has risen to the top, demonstrated by their ability to deliver on time, under budget, never mind all the stress. You don't see this in Boston. You see it right here in Orleans. There's so many people to acknowledge and thank today, including one of Mass DP's favorite, most admired public officials, Kevin Galligan, yes, who went the extra mile by providing site visits for our brightest engineering interns, who, during this time, they were able to actually walk the plant while it was under construction, in addition to Kevin serving as a true, genuine motivator and champion for these young professionals by encouraging them to stay the course and believe in science, in technology, and engineering, but most importantly, to stay the course on their life dreams. Thank you, Kevin. Our DEP regional team also wishes to thank all the stellar efforts delivered under the leadership of Andrea Shaw-Reed, Alan McLennan, Tom Daly, George Meservey, John Kelly, and I believe retired, but probably here, I hope, Ron Collins, as well as facilitation, engineering, construction efforts from AECOM, Ty and Bond, Daniel O'Connell's son, Robert B. Auer, and now Veolia for operations. This outstanding project team was able to navigate all of the materials and worker housing shortages and many unexpected, unique circumstances that are atypical to a wastewater management project. And seeing this facility become operational is truly a testament to the groundwork that Orleans laid to reach this commendable milestone, and it truly rings true to its commitment for the protection of human health and the environment. Thank you for allowing Southeast Region to be a part of your success. Please know that I personally look forward to our ongoing dialogue with Orleans and Eastham as our next partner to continue protecting our beautiful Cape Cod and, most importantly, its watersheds. So next batter up, Nauset Estuary. Right, Kevin? Yep. Among other projects. And may the spirit of Orleans serve as an inspiration for so many Cape towns and cities across our grand state watching this historic ribbon cutting today. And may everyone remember this day. I know it's a little cold, but it's still glorious. Next time you head to Nauset Beach to enjoy its clean and safe waters on a hot summer's day. Please join me in a heartfelt applause for the town of Orleans, all the unsung heroes who may not have been mentioned, all those who gave a hand, lent a hand, could not make it today, or perhaps are no longer with us. You are the true heroes. Congratulations. Ready for the next one.
Oh, my goodness. Millie, thank you so much for those very kind and thoughtful words. Our next speaker was with us 2.5 years ago at our groundbreaking ceremony at the Snow Library. She and her staff have been with us on each of these weekly meetings, supporting this project in their role overseeing the state revolving fund. Millie mentioned the SRF program. The SRF program is more than just about the money. It is a model that guides implementation projects from concept through to commissioning and full performance. So please welcome Maria Pinode. She's Director of Mass DEP's State Revolving Fund. Maria, thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I'm so honored to be here, and I just want to, on behalf of the State Revolving Fund Program and Mass DEP in general, I want to commend the town of Orleans for having the vision to make this tremendous investment in to improve water quality in the town, and I look forward to continuing our partnership in future projects, and I give you kudos. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. And yet, another woman who leads an organization of professionals who have been with this project from concept through consensus and is here to celebrate with us today. Please welcome Cape Cod Commission Executive Director, Christy Senatori. Thanks so much, Christy.
I am so pleased to be here today to celebrate this really significant milestone in Orleans. It wasn't long ago that we gathered at the groundbreaking for this facility, and it's really exciting to see this project come to completion. I know we're all looking forward to the positive environmental and economic impacts that we'll have on the town of Orleans, as well as the entire Cape Cod region. Completing this modern wastewater facility is a result of decades of work, as you've all mentioned, and really hard work and really collaboration, not only with the town of Orleans, but even broader and beyond with the rest of the Cape community. It's a tangible demonstration of the progress that's being made and the incredible challenge that we face to provide wastewater infrastructure in locations that are appropriate across Cape Cod. The Cape Cod Commission is pleased to see such significant progress towards addressing our local water quality goals and in implementation of Cape Cod's 208 area-wide water quality management plan. This project and the town of Orleans is making significant contributions to improving our coastal water quality on Cape Cod by reducing nitrogen loading to our coastal embayments. It's one of the most important actions we can take for our environment, and it's also one of the most important actions we can take for our economy. The vitality of our region is dependent on projects like this. The project also represents the hard work that went into identifying new funding strategies, and as Representative Peak identified, revenue sources that can support local implementation of water quality projects It's supported by nearly $15 million in subsidy from the Cape Cod and Islands Water Protection Fund that was established by the legislature back in 2018 to help Cape Cod communities like Orleans pay for this necessary infrastructure for water quality remediation projects. This is exactly the type of projects that fund was intended to help advance. I look forward to seeing the continued advancements and improvements in water quality in the town of Orleans and the surrounding water bodies. And I look forward to the opportunities that this new wastewater treatment facility opens up for appropriate development and redevelopment in the downtown area of Orleans, that existing center of activity that I know will continue to thrive. So I want to thank the forward-thinking Orleans leaders, the planners, the community, and the town now has a system that's designed to accommodate the future of Orleans and to ensure that this region can ensure a healthy environment and a healthy economy for years to come. So congratulations to the town of Orleans.
Thanks so much, Christy. And now, before we cut the ribbon, because we're breaking up the speakers into a couple of batches to allow some people that have to get to meetings do so. The man who is always comfortable on waters, whether it be Pleasant Bay or even rowing on the Charles River, water is in this man's DNA. It was a pleasure to serve with him when I was on the select board with him. Please welcome Board of Water and Sewer Commission Chair Alan McLennan.
I didn't get rowing this morning. From community to commitment, to consensus, to construction, to completion. On Cape Cod, that's 5 C's. Thank you to the Orleans Wastewater Management Steering Committee, July 2000 to December 2009, which labored to create the town's comprehensive wastewater management plan, adopted by town meeting in the fall of 2008. It also led the town to petition the legislature to expand the duties of our water commissioners to include management of this plant and the entire sewer system plan for Orleans. That's why I'm here as chairman of the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. And thank you to the Orleans Water Quality Advisory Panel, an assemblage of 8 local organizations with varying interests that were brought together by the select board that, after 6 months of meeting for 4 hours a day, twice each month, adopted a broad consensus agreement on March 10th, 2015, describing how to proceed with the plan to clean our waters. And thank you to the voters of Orleans, who elected voters who were committed to taxing themselves to solve a problem. 25 warrant articles for funding, each being passed by the requisite 2/3 vote, and 18 debt exclusions, which passed by an average of 70% of the voters cast to get this project built. And finally, thank you to the designers, the builders, the operators, and state and county funding agencies of this plant and collection system, which is now in operation. What you see today will remove 60% of the nitrogen required to be removed from Rock Harbor, 33% of the anticipated load to be removed from Town Cove, and when connected, 90% of the load required to be removed from Meeting House Pond. The bids were received last week and they are under budget, so we will be proceeding. It has been in operation for just 1 month. It has processed over 660,000 gallons of septage brought by 197 trucks, which is projected to bring in over $415,000 of revenue annually to help support plant operations. It is now receiving and processing sewage at about 2,000 gallons a day. We've only got 3 connections, so be patient. And it has discharged 686,000 gallons of clean water to the Wick wells, where it will be discharged slowly back into the ground. Thank you. Kevin, back to you.
So, the moment we've all been waiting for, I am going to turn to the subcommittee. The ribbon-cutting crew will get us ready to cut the ribbon. Would you guys please come on up, including John Fuller, please? And if we can all kind of get up. Yes, it is time to cut the ribbon. If I could say, what you're seeing is the suggestion of, where's Brian Dudley? The godmother of Wastewater in Orleans and Cape Cod. Gussie McCusick said, let's not do a blue plastic ribbon. This is double ply TP. So, would our chairs, Andrea Shaw-Reed and Alan McLennan, please grab the scissors? If we might all do a countdown from 10 before we cut. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That's great. That is great. Yes. Awesome. So, and back to our last few speakers. Our next speaker has led an awesome team of engineers and staff, many of them here, who brought their technical expertise to plan, design, engineer, and support this project. He will leave some very big shoes to fill because I heard just a little while ago, a few weeks ago, he is planning to retire. We have been so fortunate to have his expertise, amazing wealth of knowledge. His memory is unbelievable. Please welcome AECOM's Tom Parise.
Thank you, Kevin. I guess I'll start off with say, wow, what a journey. I've been working in the industry over 40 years, and I'll want to correct a few people. I do have a 150-point PowerPoint slide if you want to talk about the history of Orleans. It's been over 40 years in the making to get to this point, so it's a long time. AECOM wants to congratulate the town of Orleans on reaching this great accomplishment, and it's been noted before about protecting the natural beauty of the Cape and the town of Orleans and the water. It has taken a team of officials from the town, employees, residents, federal and state officials, regulatory agencies, contractors, Dan O'Connell and Robert Biawa, and most recently Veolia. AECOM appreciates and is honored to be part of that team. We can see a great accomplishment here. We're looking forward to our continued relationship with the town of Orleans. Thank you, and again, congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. And another engineering professional who has brought years of his dedicated work in water and wastewater design has served as the Town of Orleans owner's project manager, representing this project every step of the way, and so much more. Please welcome from Ty and Bond, Ian Ketlow.
Thank you, Kevin. As the owner's project manager, I really wanted to provide a couple of acknowledgments, of this team of teams that we've created here. First and foremost, our partners from Daniel O'Connell's and Sons. This building is really a testament to you guys in a lot of ways. These guys are the folks who have been here for the last 3 years, day in, day out, while many of the rest of our team were dialing in from Zoom or Teams or wherever else. These folks really put in a fantastic effort, and Bob and Malcolm should be commended for that. I also wanted to recognize Tom Parise and the rest of the team from AECOM. I probably met Tom about 25 years ago at a New England Water Environment show when you were presenting on Holliston or Hopkinton or something. And I got to say, there are few people in the industry who have the experience with wastewater planning and design that Tom does. And the fact that this project has come off as successfully as it has is really a testament to Tom's experience and expertise. So again, thanks to Tom and Tim and the rest of the AECOM crowd. Last and certainly not least, Alan has been kind of our rock, and we really got to recognize him here. I feel like Alan has been here throughout the process, whether it's getting money for the project, organizing public support from you all, or being just a sounding board for key design decisions. I know Alan has probably learned a lot more than he ever anticipated about wastewater treatment, but I got to thank you, Alan, for everything that I've learned from you about public process and what a career of service is really all about. So thank you. That was really all I had to say. I know it's cold, and I'm probably almost the last person that stands between you guys and a taco truck around the corner, which is why you're all really here. So thank you, Kevin.
All right. Ian, it's been a pleasure to work with you. So you're right, there are a couple more speakers, and I have to say, our next speaker, Robbie Hour, represents an incredible local construction crew. I'm looking at Craig, Michael, wherever you are, working out in Barnstable or wherever. I have to say, it was the most exciting evening when we shut down Route 6, we opened trench, put in the lines that bring the product to the plant and the effluent that sends it back. Robert B. Hour, you have brought us a wonderful collection system. It's the start of many more projects for you in your future. I also just cannot thank you enough for making Orleans roads the best roads we've ever had. So, Robbie, come on up.
Thank you. I talk fast, so don't worry. As a local contractor on Cape Cod, the Robert P. Hour Company was excited to be part of a project this size with this much meaning and importance. Protecting our ponds, streams, oceans, and drinking water is a high priority. These are some of the most important natural resources we need to protect here on Cape Cod. My grandfather started installing cesspools and septic systems back in 1957. He did what was needed and necessary back then, and we are now doing what is needed and necessary today. And by we, I mean all of us. During this project, we installed 40,000 feet of gravity and force main sewer pipe, a 36-inch sleeve under Route 6, connecting 3 pump stations, which is going to service 275 businesses and residents here in Orleans. These projects are a success when the owner, contractor, engineer, and residents all work together to resolve problems, work through changes, and most importantly, communicate. I'd like to say thank you to Tom Daly, Kevin Galligan, and Ron Hollins from the town of Orleans, the AECom team, Tom Parise, Reggie Donahue, Tim Harrison, Amy Hunter, and Tess Laffer, and Ty and Bonds, Ian Catlow, and Dan Murphy, and the Orleans Wastewater Committee, Alan McLennan, Lynn Bruno, and John Meyer. These individuals attended every meeting and were instrumental in helping this project come to fruition. I would also like to thank the Orleans Police Department for keeping us safe and helping us with the support with the traffic control. 2 other individuals I'd like to recognize in this project, the site superintendent and the project manager from the Robert B. Hour Company, Craig Trombley and Mike Donovan. Both Craig and Mike work very hard every day and are passionate about what they do. I'd like to thank them both for all their hard work day in and day out on this project. Leadership starts at the top. Robert B. Hour is very happy to be a small part of the big picture when it comes to wastewater infrastructure upgrades here in Orleans and on Cape Cod as a whole. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the state for making these funds available for these projects. Thank you.
And our next speaker brings the unique team that somehow, through the many challenges that we faced, and we could not have imagined them, showed how much they love building complex projects. You see it here today. So speaking for Daniel O'Connell and Sons is Malcolm Boyce. Malcolm, come on up here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On the 8th of September of 2020, we all came together in the height of COVID for a groundbreaking ceremony in the Village Green. Not knowing how much previous hard work had been done to get to this point, I was shocked at how many people were in attendance, twice as much Not as much as this, but this is obviously twice as much. Well, after 2.5 years of construction in this town, I now have a full understanding of what it takes to make an idea a reality. With Orleans being one of the leaders of the Cape in regards of looking for the future of managing wastewater, potential environmental impacts are being eliminated to the best of our current abilities. With the construction of this facility and 3 current pump stations and associated underground piping, this project has the correct foundation to handle the current demands and the future growth. As a team member of the Daniel O'Connell and Sons, I can truly say this project was a complete team effort. When you have a project with this level of complexities, you need to have all parties involved on the same page. Without the owner, the engineer, and the contractor striving for the same goal, the execution of the project would not have happened as it did. From everyone who was involved in our weekly project meetings, how many was it, Dan? 128. I witnessed the remarkable collaboration coming together in a respectful and understanding manner to solve arising problems, discuss future potential issues, and maintain transparency throughout the entire project. Heck, we even had multiple meetings for this event. So in closing, I would like to say that Daniel O'Connell and Sons is proud to turn over this most beautiful treatment plant that we have ever built to the town of Orleans and Veolia. And we look forward to working with you people again. Awesome. Thank you very much.
That man is so key to this project. Finally, on behalf of our plant operator, including all the staff, as Malcolm just said, that organized this event, I would like to welcome the president of the Northeast region of Veolia, Kendra Morris.
Good afternoon. My name's Kendra Morris, and I'm representing our operations team here at the treatment plant. I oversee our North American Northeast water operations, so from Massachusetts down to Maryland, and it is a privilege to be here today. I want to ask a question, something that excited me. How many of us can say this is their first time at a ribbon cutting for a brand new wastewater treatment plant? Not an upgrade, brand 100% new. First and probably last in my life, so very exciting. I travel quite a bit, and I hear the woes of many, many towns across not just the region, the country, about old and leaking septic tanks and pollution of nearby waterways. We know, as many people have said before me, this is threatening your livelihood, right? Your natural landscape, your economy. And I see so many leaders throw up their hands in frustration. What do? I don't even know how to start. And what the town of Orleans did is demonstrate not just to the Cape or to New England, but to the entire country, what is possible when you have the right leadership, the right vision, and the will to make it happen. At Veolia, we like to say this is an example of turning the tide. And Orleans and the state of Massachusetts have turned the tide on how to remove this threat of pollution from septic tanks to your water bodies. Our success demonstrates the power, to me, of public-private partnerships. Public ownership, public funding, public guidance, private expertise. You got the best of the best to design, to build, and now operate this industry-leading wastewater system. And now it's our turn at Veolia to demonstrate our commitment to you. And it's actually perfect that I'm last here, standing between you and the tacos. Because what is it that we're going to do? Now it's our commitment to you to bring that magic, the mix of magic and science that goes behind every wastewater operation. You combine the right people, like Ed and Dan and his team, with training, with the right and proven processes and technologies to protect the town and the state's significant investment. We are going to use state-of-the-art digital asset management software, for example, to make sure that the assets that you've paid for and installed are going to be protected and they're going to have a long life. So thank you to the town, thank you to the state and to the funding agencies here for having us. It's an honor to be selected as your partner and to work with you to turn the tide on Cape Cod's future. And now back to you or to tacos, whichever is first.
All of the above. Thank you so much, Kendra. So tours are really important that you do. We're going to, Ed, I think, have like different tour guides do groups of tours of 6 to 8 people, go through inside the plant. There are information flyers, there's swag, so please make sure you take things home like pens that have been made special for this event. And again, enjoy the tacos that are compliments of Veolia. Thank you everyone for being here and enjoy the tours.